Alright guys, how's it going? In this video we're going to be talking about the sporting director situation at Liverpool Football Club. Richard Hughes yesterday, the news came out that he would be leaving Bournemouth at the end of the season. I think I did a video about Richard Hughes yesterday before that development, and we spoke about, that he was, that Edwards was, close to him. Now, I don't know if that's just in a working capacity, networking, or whether they're pals, outside the game. But we did speak about that yesterday. And then later in the day, the news came out that he was going to be leaving Bournemouth at the end of the season. So we're going to be talking about Hughes. We're going to be talking about Michael Edwards. And Julian Ward has got a mention as well. So it's all fun and games. Obviously each day we're going to be talking about this until it's resolved. So where do we start? I read the official announcement by Bournemouth regarding Richard Hughes leaving the club at the end of the season. So how does he become the new sporting director of Liverpool if that was to happen in March? Because we've been told that the appointment will be in March. So that's a little bit interesting. Fabrizio Romano, Mo Salah, you know him, yeah, him. So if you're a new viewer, you don't know what that's about. Fabrizio Romano is also saying that Hughes has been on, a list of potential candidates. We've spoke about this for some time. We know that Richard Hughes has been looked at, and people are obviously jumping to conclusions that he could be Anfield bound. So we will see. Right, on that front. I don't really want to speak too much about Richard Hughes. To some people, I don't think they're going to be like overly excited about that, if that actually comes off. But who knows? People were excited about Michael Edwards, when he was appointed. And I remember on the members' website at the time, there was, credible feedback coming out of the club that people thought that he was out of his depth when he was first appointed to Liverpool. And look what happened there. So anyway, I'm not like the sporting director thing is important. We all want to know, what's going to happen. We want to know who that sporting director is going to be. We there is some amazing candidates out there. We have been, rejected by them previously, and we ended up with Boy George. Georgie Schmacker or whatever. Easy for. I could have done that job. Anyone can trigger a fucking contract release clause, but apparently he was amazing. We all want, a great sporting director, yes. However, I'm more interested in the manager. Do you know what I mean? And what's going to happen on that front. Anyway, so let's. So we know that Richard Hughes has left Bournemouth, and that sparked speculation that he could be Anfield bound. Now, if you remember recently, I told you about this. This FSG get-together in Florida, I think it was. I think I told you about this before I went away to England last week. And at this FSG get-together, they were going to discuss all their, their portfolio, all their businesses, and talk about the short-term, long-term plans for each. Obviously, Liverpool Football Club is one of those, businesses on the portfolio, a franchise. And we had the news, didn't we, that come out that said Hulk Hogan, Billy Hogan, the CEO of Liverpool, was named CEO of FSG International. It said it was in Bonita Springs here. That's where it was. And we were told that Hogan would work closely with FSG leadership to oversee management of FSG's entire enterprise. And in the same articles or releases at the time, it said, but it won't affect his day-to-day operations at Liverpool Football Club, what he's doing at Liverpool. I call bullshit on that, mate. Like, you should just be doing one thing. And my first reaction to that was they're making that position available for Michael Edwards. Do you know what I mean? Like, Michael Edwards wants to have more clout, right? I did a video a couple of days ago about, if you look at the title, about Edwards undermined Edwards or something, where he apparently felt undermined at times when he last worked for the club, and that could have been one of the reasons why he left. And when you hear of Michael Edwards wanting full control, more control, it's like, what? I don't think it is that. I think it's that, yeah, all right, I'd be down for coming back, but, you know, like, let me get on with the job. Don't have other people that shouldn't be interfering with my job. Like, if you're hiring me to make decisions, then you need to, you know, let me do the job kind of thing. So I think that's where we're getting the wants more control thing. And I just think with Billy Hogan being put in this new position with being an FSG CEO, I think that opens the door wider for changes at Liverpool Football Club. Possibly Edwards getting a bigger role, maybe running the club with maybe a sporting director under him. It's all we can only speculate at the moment, guys. You know, because you know there's people that I know within the club that. Well, I can think of one person. I'm not going to go plural with that, and they're quite close to certain things, and even they don't know. You know what I mean? So this is why you should always be suspicious of people on here that claim to know everything. So that brings me on to an article, or some quote, should I say, that have come from Steve McManaman, who is a friend of Michael Edwards and also Julian Ward, right? And I think his quotes are rather interesting, to be honest with you. And sorry, I'm getting so many notifications flash up. When you see, I always say this to people, when you see articles about Liverpool Football Club that include quotes from a manager, a player, existing or former, always try and ignore the headline if possible, because that's to lure you in. It can be misleading. Journalists are very clever. And then try and ignore the blurb around the quotes, like the opening paragraphs, because they can plant a seed, you know, and they can make you go in a particular way before you've even read the quotes. So my advice is always read the quotes, which in this case is going to be Steve McManaman. And if you want to read the rest of the article after that, fine. But most of that's journalistic opinion, although some of it can be factual, like, oh, this person was associated with Liverpool Football Club between 1992 and 1997. Do you know what I mean? Like, so there's going to be some facts in there. But there's also a journalist can really influence your mind, and by the photographs that can accompany such articles. So me personally, I always fucking read the quotes. Stick to the quotes. Fuck the rest of it. Right. Anyway, the headline, you know, I mean, you see like the picture, look, is, you know, Michael Edwards and Julian Ward, right? Just making sure my grinder notifications are not on the top there. Okay, and, you know, they look at that. Look, they look very happy, don't they? Look very happy. They're nice people. You'd want them back at the club, wouldn't you? Right? And then we've got the headline, which is, I spoke to Michael Edwards about Liverpool return. FSG have to try. Steve McManaman has urged FSG to bring Michael Edwards back to Liverpool, right? So I am now going to skip all the blurb and go straight to the quotes. Let's focus on these quotes. McManaman. Macca. They should try and bring Michael back! Exclamation mark. Of course they should. Funnily enough, I spoke to him, Edwards, the other day about it as well, because he lives by me and I see him regularly. I don't know in what capacity they would want to bring him back. That to me suggests it's not just sporting director, that there may be something else, as we know. I don't know. I think Michael has moved on from just being a sporting director. He hasn't said that to me personally, but he couldn't just go back to the same role that he was doing for a long time, which would explain the rebuff, the initial rebuff, do you remember? I think he'd need more. I don't know whether he needs a new challenge. In past comments he's made, it's always the case that he needs a new challenge. So he's saying, he hasn't told me this, but how is he forming the opinion? Do you know what I mean? Like, if someone, you know, if I tell you something, oh, I think my mate would, you know, he'd love to go back to, you know, working in that place rather than where he is now. He hasn't told me that, but that's what I think. How do I think that? Because of the interactions, right? So this, you know, I think we can take this as truthful. this is the interesting bit for me. The same with Julian Ward as well. I know Jules, hey, it's got a nickname, look, yeah, they're very close, very well. It would be great if they could come back, if they could come back and recreate what they had done previously. Of course it would be. But I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, if they have spoken to them, if they have offered them various things. I don't entirely know. He don't know anything, but he don't entirely know. He knows a little bit. You know what I mean? That's what I think. But Michael and Jules did an incredible job when they were at Liverpool. They're friends of mine, so I wouldn't say anything bad about them. I just find that interesting. I find that interesting. And I think that we, if we consider what the owners are doing right now, it sounds to me like they have got a number of options, right? You might say, well, come on, Chubbs, that's not rocket science. They've got a few options. Sometimes, you know, we ended up with Boy George as the sporting director previously. We didn't have any fucking options then, because if I remember rightly, the two candidates to become sporting director last time around rejected us. And I think that might have been because of the uncertainty regarding the future of the club at the time. Obviously, the club went up for sale, or investors, you're a new sporting director coming in with a great CV, you know, so could you sell the club? We don't know. Well, why am I going to take like a 5-year job or something if new people might come in and replace me? So I don't think we should see it as that we were snubbed as not being ambitious enough. Like, for example, some people will think, oh, well, them sporting directors must have turned us down because they knew FSG wouldn't give them everything. Do you know what I mean? That's where people, try and take shots at the owners. Understandable. But I don't think it was that. I think it was like there was instability around the club at the time. Okay? And I think that's why we ended up with Boy George as our sporting director. So there isn't always options. I think at the moment we're blessed in the sense that there are managerial options. We don't just have to pursue Xabi Alonso. There is Amorim. There are other candidates. I'm going to be making a video about this today. Another candidate that's shot in. So look out for that today. But what I'm trying to say is I think the owners have a number of options at the moment. And to be honest with you, I don't envy the situation. Do you know what I mean? Like, getting this decision right. Like if I was making this decision for you as a Liverpool supporter, the pressure on me would be like, fucking, I want to get it right for Dave. You know what I mean? I want to get it right. They're thinking about, I want to get it right for the asset, for their long-term interest. But, if they're making money, we're being successful, in theory. So, they want to get it right. But I wouldn't want to be in their situation right now, because I think there's a lot of different combinations and options. We talk about Richard Hughes or Edwards. No, we only want you as a sporting director. No, we'll give you full control. We've bumped Hogan out. There's an opening there, really. Julian Ward, maybe you could bring him back. Would he be up for coming in as working as your sporting director? Or would you like control and do you want to work with your pal Richard Hughes? All these different scenarios. Oh, I'd be interested in me working with Julian Ward again. Really? Yeah, but Julian Ward says he don't want to come back. So there's all these different things and permutations that I think are taking place behind the scenes. And obviously it creates uncertainty and clouds, where we're trying to waft the smoke away, trying to work out what to believe, what it might be. But, right now they probably don't know what the outcome is going to be. Now, I should have researched this, what I'm like. I'm going to try and do this in real time. Please bear with me. Right. Oh, shit. What month are we in now? We're in... are we in March now? Yeah, March 6th. So we have an international break coming up, right? Between March 18th and March 26th. And I wouldn't be surprised... Oh, God. I just got a right email there. That's just personal shit. Not to do with it's just to do with my dog in England. I've got a couple of dogs and it's not very well. where was I, guys? Yeah, international break. You know, I think that we might see something then. It would make sense for appointments and things like that. Yeah, you know. Sorry about that. Just, I don't know. It's got a bit of news about my dog in England. It's fucking like the cancer or some shit like that. I don't know. Zoe, my dog Zoe. I've got 3 dogs. You know what I mean? I got Zoe and Francis, both named after characters from House of Cards. And also I've got Remy, which is named after a character from House of Cards. But when me and the missus split up, my 2 dogs went to England during the pandemic. She was going to look after, can they come to me for a bit? I've got a bit of company. I was like, yeah, no problem. Temporary, you know, but then we didn't know the pandemic was going to last for fucking ages, and they've ended up staying with her. But she's just emailed me to say that Zoe's not good, so that's a bit sad. Real life, guys. Real life, you know, you can come on here and make 3-minute long videos, get you know what I mean? But I wear me out my sleeve, I can't do it about that. So maybe I'll stop fucking checking. Well, I didn't check it flashed up on my phone. Sorry if I fucked the video up now. Yeah, so I think there's a lot of possibilities that FSG are exploring, and I quite like it. But I wouldn't like to be in that situation, to be honest with you. Like, what do you do? You know, I know that everyone seems to think the sun shines out of Michael Edwards' ass, and if from an ownership point of view, I'd be like, you don't want anyone to be too powerful within an organisation. I think, you know, you can respect people and think, you know, yeah, we really respect you, but you can't have people fucking, you know, dictating or calling the shots, getting too powerful. FSG don't like that. That's why in the past, when the managerial, you know, when there's been vacant managerial situations in the past, you know, why they didn't want, you know, Rafa would have been too fucking powerful. Dalglish was too powerful, you know, at a time when we were facing austerity, if you remember what things were like back then. And, you know, even fast forward today, some people say there was, you know, someone was talking about Zinedine Zidane yesterday as being a, you know, potential managerial candidate. But straight away, you just know they're not going to appoint someone that's so fucking big and powerful. Do you know what I mean? But there's no suggestion anywhere that Edwards is, you know, giving it the big I am. If he has been undermined before by someone that he thinks shouldn't be calling the shots, you can understand saying, look, you know, like, you know why I left before, but yeah, I'm down for coming back, but I'm not having a repeat of that situation. I don't need it. And the owners are going to say, okay, or not. Right, okay, I think I fucked the video up a little bit, but I'm not going to re-record it, so I think I've given you a little update on things. The reason for the video really was to see the mention of Julian Ward in there, because if that was a non-starter, I think that McManaman wouldn't even have mentioned it. So, but he is only speculating, and I know a lot of people think that former players know everything that's going on. They don't. I can assure you they don't. Especially under this, you know, this ownership, because it's not an ownership that's based in Liverpool, if that makes sense. Back in the day, you know, you had the boot room and everyone knew everyone, the chairman, the board, they were all local. They were obviously talking to family, friends and former players. But it's not like that anymore, which is a good thing, I think. But nevertheless, it's still interesting. Could you imagine a dream team of Edwards and Ward, or do you think Richard Hughes is going to get it with him announcing he's leaving? I know everyone jumps to conclusions. I haven't. But I've got to be honest with you, you know, even on the members website, as far as I'm aware, I don't think anyone, I mean, you watch, I'll click on it and I won't be logged in. I say, I'm not logged into my own fucking website. If you want to join me on the members website, please read the video description. It's the absolute best way of supporting me, and it means the most to me. New Sporting Direct, let's have a look at this. Let's just look at the last updates this morning. All right, now we're talking about Hughes there, information that I put on there yesterday. Yeah, so even the members website, you know, we have some very important people on there. It's still, yeah, I don't know. Fuck it anyway. Right, I need to go and sort this email out. All right, guys. Thumbs up the video if you appreciate it and drop me a comment. Cheers.